Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Heart-Based Business Show. I always appreciate it when you join me here. I am your host, Dr. Charlene Reeves, and I just want to welcome you back and say how much I appreciate that you follow me, that you subscribe, and that you make comments on my shows. It's wonderful because, we're sitting here doing these shows and we don't even know if anybody sees us or watches us. So it's kind of a different feeling because you have an empty room and you're just talking to a camera. Anyway, I just wanted to welcome you to the Heart-Based Business Show. And I want to talk to you about some important things about buttoning up your borders on your media, because I've had a lot of problems. It's not just social media, but it's also email and my website too. Wait till you hear what I have to tell you. But first, I want to take just a short little break here and introduce the show. So I'll be right back with you in just a second. And welcome back again. Thank you so much for joining me. And please don't forget to subscribe. It helps this channel grow. And I'm doing everything I can to help the people in business, the entrepreneurs, to make an impact with their business. And one of those ways, as you know, is social media, your website, emails that you send out, and various other things. But what I want to tell you about is what's been happening to me. And I found out that I'm not alone. There are many others that this is happening to as well. And it all started with my Facebook, not my group, just my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page. And I found one day that people had absconded it. And they do it by using your name and putting a number after it, or they put another letter after it, or sometimes they'll even put a different name after your name. And they set up a site and people think it has to do with you. And they start sending messages to your people because it's all connected. And it took me quite some time just to get that done. I was really lucky that Facebook could see what was going on and they stopped it because I gave them the name of that new Facebook page that was linked to mine. And so they took it down, which was really, really good. And I went in, changed my password. Once again, you've got to really work with these passwords. That's something very important that I am trying to push for you today, because if you haven't changed your passwords recently, beware. That's all I can say. This whole show is about being aware. And as I go through this, you'll understand why. So the problem with Facebook started about 3 months ago. Then my next problem, oh my gosh, this was terrible. I work with Bluehost, and somebody, funny that there's Chinese writing that comes up in my user field when I try to log in. So what does that tell you? I'm not going to accuse anybody, but I am going to tell you that that Chinese writing kept overwriting my username over and over and over again. So I noticed that I was not getting my Charlene Reeves at charlenereeves.com emails, and those come from Bluehost. And what happened was, whoever was involved in my email setup, not the people that I hired, but these people, these Chinese characters that showed up in my username, it still shows up. I can't seem to get rid of it. But what had happened is there was tons and tons of malware in my email. And it was so full, it couldn't go anywhere. And to this day, I'm still trying to deal with getting it back coming into my system so I don't have to go to Bluehost to look at it. But it was loaded with malware. So then what does Bluehost do? They send me to their, I don't know, techie repair shop, And here it's their app, their program, all theirs. But when they refer me to this group, it doesn't have anything to do with my email provider. And suddenly they want to charge $300 to clean it up and set it all straight, which I didn't think was fair at all, because I believe that Bluehost should have taken care of the whole thing themselves, because they are the server. And I have no idea how all that malware got in there, or how it was used to just suck up all the space in my emails. So no emails could come in and go out. I had absolutely no emails. So if you sent me an email, I humbly apologize, because there's no way I could get the email. The other thing is that while I was trying to work this out, then they send me to this company who wants to charge me $300. I have this fabulous team that I use for my website, and they went in for what I pay them every month, cleaned out all the malware that was in my email and reset everything. I'm still trying to deal with it though, and I will get it done. It just takes a lot of time to do all this stuff. Have you noticed how much time it takes? But in the meantime, I've gone back in and changed all my passwords, which again, I'm suggesting that you do to protect yourself. And as I said, I'm still not getting the email in my system. I can go to Bluehost and look at it though. And it's all been corrected and resolved. So now finally, my email's starting to come in. It wouldn't come in at all before, not even into Bluehost before it got forwarded to me. So we got that far, and I saved the $300. The other thing that was very strange that I was noticing is that when I would shut my computer down in the evening, so say I was done at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'd shut my computer down, and 2 hours later, it would come back on all by itself. It was totally off, and it would just start by itself. So then I would go and shut it down again, and at 2 hours after that, it would come on yet again. I looked to see if there were any settings that made it automatically go on. There were none. There was nothing. So that didn't make any sense to me at all. And that had been going on for months. So I knew someone was using my IP address to do whatever they cared to do. And I think it had a big part of what I'm talking about here. But here's the final caveat. This just happened this week, where I was in my website, and I'm not a techie person. So when 505 comes up, I know that something's not right with the server. Something is overloaded with the server and it can't load the page. If it's 404, the page just isn't there. You've seen those 404s a lot, I'm sure. But 505 is a situation where your server is maxed out. It can't move. It can't do anything. It can't process anything because it's maxed out. And this is third time's a charm, right? The reason I'm telling you all this is so that you will tighten up your own passwords and really take a look at your own business. And if some funny things are going on, then you need to research it immediately. Don't waste any time trying to figure out or ignoring it and thinking you'll deal with it later. No, don't do that. Get on it right away. That was my mistake. And so a lot went on as I'm trying to figure it out. I was looking in my site. Nothing looked abnormal in any sense of the word. But then when I had my team go in, you won't believe what they found out. A website from years back that I don't use at all, and I don't even renew the name of the site, had been taken over by the Chinese and sent to a propaganda site. Yeah, you heard me. And that is why my site could no longer work, was because they had taken over, literally taken over. And it's so distressing when these things happen. So then they had to go in, my team did, and clean all that out as well, plus any duplicates that were in there in the first place, because there's no way to move around within the site. If you'd gone to my website, you would have gotten a 505 as well, because the server could not handle all the data that was suddenly within my site. So between the situation with Facebook, the malware, the situation with my computer, I've had them go through my computer also to find out if there's malware in my computer, even though I have a malware app inside my computer that's supposed to be watching for all this stuff. It didn't catch it. So they have figured out a way to go around all of this. And I asked my team, am I the only one who's having this happen to their website and the different social media situations and their email? And he said, no, there are a lot of you that are experiencing this. And that's why I decided to bring this into the light, so you will tighten up everything that you are working with. And the reality is that we've got so much weird stuff going on right now with our freedom of speech. It's just pathetic. I have never been in my lifetime in a situation where we didn't have any freedom of speech. But let me tell you something. There's some good things that are going to rise out of this. But the first thing, the number one thing, is that you go in and protect yourself. Change all your passwords. I've had to change every password that I have because I don't want to take any chance that something like this happens again. Not to say it won't. They may figure out a way to go in the back way. And that is terrifying, because suddenly you realize you don't have the control over the tools that you need in your business that you thought you did. But I want to go back to what I was just saying about the problem that we are having with freedom of speech. And now it's in all the countries. They're all upset all over the world about this because they're afraid that it will affect them as well. But the good thing is that new social media platforms are emerging. And I've been waiting for this. I'm very excited that this is going to happen. So maybe what's happening with our freedom of speech is a good thing. Maybe it's a wake-up call to all of us that says, you don't have to use these people. There's many, many other people out there that you can utilize. It may not have all the bells and whistles that we have right now that with the social media that we were using, but it will have eventually. And I think a lot of people who appreciate the First Amendment and our freedom of speech will move to those platforms. And I've already heard that they have lost huge amounts of money from the stock market because people are backing away from them. They don't want to be associated with something that restricts our freedom of speech. And in fact, I was just listening to a show, a podcast, and there's a new, I haven't even checked it out. I'm going to tell you about it, but I haven't even had a chance to check it out. It's called 100%fedup.com. And it lists these other alternative social media sites. So I'm going to go check that out as soon as I'm done, because I just heard this. As soon as I'm done speaking with you and letting you know about this. So people, be very careful. Button up your borders, will you? Make sure that you've changed all your passwords for your website. Change your passwords for your emails. Change passwords on all your social media and protect yourself. Excuse me. I'm going to have a drink of hot water here. This is my drink of the day. I drink hot water all day long. Don't ask me why. It's just something that I enjoy doing. Anyway, 100% fed up. Boy, that's where I'm at. 100% fed up. And it was so funny because yesterday I was running a group and I was talking about this, and this person just came in at the last minute and said, I don't agree. Well, I don't know what she didn't agree with. Well, maybe she didn't agree with the fact that this was happening to my website, happening to my email, and happening to my social media. Maybe that's why. I don't know why a person would come in when I'm talking about this to my clients about what's happening to me. I'm not sure what she doesn't agree with, but anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. And I guess the message here is to make sure that you've heard the whole conversation before you jump in and say you don't agree with something, because it really didn't make any sense. Anyway, check out 100%fedup.com and see what you can find there. It might be really interesting to learn about some other social media. I still love LinkedIn. I'm there all the time. I post all the time in LinkedIn. And I think I'm still in the top 3% in my category in LinkedIn. So don't worry about that, that kind of thing with LinkedIn. Go there, do what you want to do, but make sure that you have all of your LinkedIn filled out and you know exactly what you want there in order to market your programs. So now, I hope I gave you some really good insight on the importance of buttoning up your borders for your business. Because if we don't have everything that we need on our website, so say you don't even have the terms and conditions and the privacy notice and all of that kind of thing and the copyright, you're in trouble, because people can take whatever they want off your website. But it's even worse when your website isn't running at all, right? Not running at all. People can't even get to it to get what they need off of your website. That's a really big problem. That really hinders your business, because our website is our core, our focal point of where people go to learn about us, where people go so we can get speaking gigs, where people go so that they can find out whether they want to take a course with you or not. Your website is so important. And let me just tell you, you can't just do one and done. It doesn't work. You have to let your website evolve with you. Go check out my website if you like. It's ShirleneReeves.com. Simple, ShirleneReeves.com. And you'll find it there, everything that I do, what I talk about, and who I am. And that's why your website is so important. So if it isn't working, if somebody else has grabbed a hold of it, that's such a big problem, because it's the core essence of who you are. So let me just say one other thing. Don't lose hope. Have patience and just watch everything that's going on like it's a drama. It has nothing to do with you anyway, until it does have something to do with you, like it has with me that I just described. But if you don't have anything that you're experiencing personally as a result of what's going on, then let those people take care of it that do have a problem, that do have a challenge with what's going on. And there's things happening all over the world. So there's really no place for us to run other than to just stay home and be safe and take care of ourselves. Please take care of yourself. One of the ways to take care of yourself, I heard, is to drink hot water. So cheers. Drink as much hot water as you can, because it flushes out your system. It's a really, really good thing to do. And the other thing is, they're saying take a lot of vitamin D3. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've been doing a lot of reading. Take zinc. That's another thing. I'm sure you've heard this. I don't need to be the only one to tell you. And make sure you beef up on your vitamin C too. And that's what I've been doing as well to stay healthy. But in the meantime, stay focused on your business. Keep your head down. Do one little step at a time. This is all so big that we can't take it all in. So just narrow it down and stay focused on a little tiny area that you know you can succeed at accomplishing. That way, you will just keep moving forward one step at a time. That's what I do. I just do one thing each day, and sometimes two or three, to move forward, keep my business moving forward, keep supporting my clients. I'm there for them when they have anxiety. I take care of them too. It's not just me. It's all about lifting whole communities that share in a common theme. And our common theme is all about being a heart-based community, supporting others, caring for others, and making sure that we bring them along with us so that they can succeed just like we do. But you can't do that if you don't keep your head down, stay focused, and take one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. And I've heard a lot about January being the time to kind of step back and to research your inner being to see what messages you can receive. And I've heard to start being quiet, start just being instead of doing. I just finished a 5-day challenge that I ran, and of course, the heart-based profitability programs, we just finished that up. And I'll be looking at what I'm going to be doing next. And I hope to see some of you in my next course, my sales course, the heart-based sales course. So with that, that's all I have for you today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I wish you all the best. Stay well and take care. Love to you all. Bye-bye.